So Lana Rhoades just rug pulled her NFT project and ran away with $1.5 million. Now she's claiming it's not her fault. Her community was just getting too negative for her. One of those negative comments was about how this person can't feed their kids because they invested it all into a star's JPEG collection. Quote, I spent what I can't lose, spent 4K. No job, have a 2-year-old son. If only someone bought my Christmas, Lana. Yeah, and apparently Lana Rhoades saw this post and said, hey, this is getting way too negative for me. I'm out. I didn't know these people wanted to feed their kids. Apparently, she's too busy feeding her own kid to worry about this. When asked about this, she said, yo, diapers are expensive. That's right, guys. She needs that $1.5 million. Now, let's just say what this is. From Lana Rhoades to the person who invests their last dime into it, this is the dumbest story we've ever talked about. By far. I mean, there's no contest, but here we are, so let's just embrace what it is. Welcome to the $10 million studio. I'm your host, Coffeezilla, the internet detective. So again, this story is what it seems. A star gone influencer offered an investment to her fans, and then they invested $1.5 million. She ran away with the money. I'm going to say right off the top, come real close, come here. We have to have a talk, okay? If you fell for this, we're in trouble. This is not good. Now, to be clear, she's wrong for doing this. I want the best for you guys, and I'm sorry that you got scammed. But it's looking bleak if you fell for this. This was not a hard one to spot. This was not a big gotcha. But anyways, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about the story, okay? So look, Lana Rhoades started an NFT project full of a bunch of pictures of basically cartoon versions of herself. And she told people she was going to work super hard to basically make this a valuable investment. The NFT project was called CryptoSis, and she said, my #1 goal for the project is to increase the value of CryptoSis NFTs and make it a lucrative investment for holders that they can sell for more than they paid to mint. And this is basically my big beef with this project. They made it sound like an investment. Nowhere was it like, hey, buy my art. Clearly, this was something where it was like, no, you're going to make money on this project. And she repeats this idea later. She says, quote, the brand plus value will keep growing with every drop. So her fans thought this was going to be some kind of long-term investment, I guess. And of course, it wasn't. If you look at her roadmap, it was pretty clear things were promised that weren't delivered on. For example, in phase 2, she said Decentraland and Sandbox Wearable will start getting developed. She promised a piece of designated metaverse land would be purchased to create a hangout spot. She said 50 lucky CryptoSis owners will receive CryptoSis merch signed by Lana, even promising to distribute 5 ETH to the top holders. And of course, one of the biggest things was an exclusive community to speak with Lana. This apparently was their reasoning for having to raise so much money, $1.5 million, precisely because they weren't a pump and dump.
Unlike other pump and dump projects, we don't just plan on stopping after minting, so we actually have to be able to fund all that stuff.
So you heard it right there. This is a long-term project, not a pump and dump. But that didn't happen. Less than a week after all this money was raised, Lana Rhoades vanished from her community and took the money out of the wallet. Here's the main wallet withdrawing over $1.5 million in Ethereum out of the project. Her reason? Things got too negative. Quote, the truth as why Lana hasn't been around was she was very shocked and upset by the amount of negative and rude comments she was seeing in the chat. Now, I personally find this part hilarious because I checked out this Discord. You can't imagine a bigger simp army. These guys were not negative, and I do mean guys, by the way. They put their last dollar into this project, truth be told. And one of them even got like a tattoo of the project logo on them before it rugged. But my point sort of is, this wasn't a negative community at all. In fact, even after they had been scammed, all these people in the community tried to police each other into being nice so that Lana would come back. Here's one of the holders saying, how do you want us to keep it respectful while the whole entire management scammed 6,000 people and took their money and left? And then the person responds, doesn't mean you can't be respectful. I mean, I feel like that tells you everything you need to know. They had just been scammed and still you have people in the chat being like, hey, be respectful about it. And honestly, they use this fact that people were upset that they basically got rug pulled to justify then abandoning the project. Here's actually one of the collaborators informing the community of this. They said, good morning. I chatted to CryptoSis about my NFT. Lana isn't interested in continuing, mainly because she felt part of her Discord community was cruel, and she didn't want to have to look at comments. That's right, guys. Lana Rhoades doesn't want to have to look at cruel comments. Just because you can't feed your kids now, it doesn't mean it's okay for you to get negative on her. Oh, by the way, yeah, that same post, that collaborator, they actually said they'd be releasing their own NFT project in the same sentence. So they basically said, you guys got scammed. And so look out for NFT Scam Part 2. And you might be thinking, who would fall for this? Well, the same people who bought the first one. Because look here. They said, quote, go show her some love, talking about this person. Let's prove we are not toxic. She can still save us. I mean, at this point, it's pretty sad, isn't it? You got rug pulled and you're about to go into a second rug pull. I mean, again, I want to help you guys, but there's only so much I can do if you're going to do that. You know what I mean? There's only so much we can do. So yeah, that's basically the story. What did we learn from this? Hopefully nothing. Hopefully all of this was obvious to you. If it wasn't, you need to pump the stock. Honestly, Zilla, hey, it's free. You're not going to get rugged this time. It's impossible. Just like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. And you need to watch a lot more of this channel.